It's going to be easier to get your $500 COVID payment. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because the Prime Minister has made it easier for people to access their $500 COVID payment, particularly those in Sydney, with the lockdowns that have now been extended again. Before we go through all this, I want to mention the sponsor of this video, and it is myself. Our Twitch channel, HeiseSays. We have two shows, one on Friday and one on Monday. Go over there and have a look. We're not going to be doing any more live content on YouTube. So, the government has come to the rescue. Regulars of the channel will be familiar with this. We've got companies trading while insolvent. We've got JobKeeper reducing the burden on Centrelink. You've got just juicing the housing market, building approvals to the moon, 2% home loans. It's never ending. When you combine all the grants, some people were getting up to 88 grand. And we wonder why. Wonder why housing may be overheated a little bit right now. While I was talking to a Steely today saying, had a mate such and such, couldn't get any Rio. So I'm, grinding up columns, old posts that I don't need anymore. I better keep the Rio. The Rio of my timber, I got a stash. Don't worry about scrap. And then we've got just systematic issues with housing supply with regards to councils restricting development, the not in my backyard crowd wanting to dictate what you can do on your land, and, the whole bank holidays just coming out of nowhere that everyone got on their mortgages. A lot of people were lucky for that. And, the price for that is about $1.3 trillion. All of these government interventions at the state and federal level. Don't worry, I'm sure our children's children will appreciate this. This is the final gift. The final gift from the last generation in charge. We'll have to see how it goes. So let's have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance by Jessica Young. PM ditches a major hurdle to accessing $500 payments. So the Prime Minister has removed a major hurdle to accessing the $500 payments for people who have lost work hours due to lockdown restrictions. Previously, workers wanting to claim the $500 COVID-19 disaster payment must have lost more than 20 hours of work and meet the liquid asset test, meaning they can't have more than $10,000 in assets such as savings or shares banked up. This is the thing, guys. The government money isn't income protection insurance. We need to stop seeing it like that. People shouldn't be framing it like that. It is emergency money for the destitute, for those that don't have savings and can't take care of themselves. Then, the discussion about should the government be locking us down, that needs to be looked at, from a different lens. Sadly, that just seems to have been accepted as the de facto response again and again. Prime Minister Scott Morrison on Thursday announced that this asset test will be waived for week 3 of a lockdown onwards, which Sydney has now entered. Oh, there you go. You've probably already burned through your savings to get to those 2 weeks anyway. It doesn't matter what funds you have available to you in your bank account or that you can readily convert to cash, Morrison said. We recognise that we're not just dealing with a 1-week period or a 2-week period, that this is going into a 3rd week with further decisions to be taken. However, Australians should know that they will still need to prove they have lost working hours in order to access the payments. Eligible Australians who normally work less than 20 hours a week can receive $325 for each week of lockdown after the initial 7 days. Those who have lost more than 20 hours are eligible for $500. On top of that, the federal government is also pausing mutual obligations for people who get welfare payments in the Greater Sydney area. Many on social media reacting to the news were quick to criticise the Prime Minister's move, pointing out that this privilege was not available during Victoria's lockdown earlier this year, which prompted the $500 payments in the first place. That bastard has changed the rules for New South Wales, one tweeted. What a mongrel slap in the face for all Victorians. That's it. Morrison is the PM of Sydney, said another. He just scrapped the liquid asset test for New South Wales, while Victorian folk have had to use their savings. They're right. They're right. Is it our politicians learning or not? Or is it just favouritism for the coalition-held New South Wales? What do you think? I mean, It's 10 grand, everyone. There's some people that are just going to burn through their savings, and that's what savings are for, is for emergency situations. Some people are going to eat their... Well, here's a question. If you're saving for a house deposit using those super bank accounts, those, superannuation accounts, deposits there, could this be a way to get around that? There's an interesting one. So what is the solution to all of this? What should we consider and what should we do? Well, we need to remember that there's a huge amount of debt at a state and federal level that doesn't seem to be discussed, doesn't seem to be highlighted in the news, that all of this money that the government is shoveling out into the economy that is overheating certain sectors and is providing buffers for people to compensate them for the damage the government's causing, we're going to have to work in the future to mitigate that. Nothing is free, everyone. Either if you're an MMT proponent, they're still going to tax it out of us in the future. And all of that, that's just work. You look at that debt, that is work that citizens have to do or forced to do for the state. I think some people don't realize how highly taxed we are. If you add everything together, we're one of the highest taxed countries in the world. Even when you go buy petrol, when you go buy cigarettes, when you go buy a beer, every time you go shopping and pay GST. And yet, the debt just keeps rising. So there we have it, everyone. What do you think? And what's your take on this? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Do you think it's fair that the Prime Minister removed the $10,000 acid test, or should have stayed in place? And is it right for the Victorians to complain and moan? Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links on Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or AussieBroadband. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.